Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. We're back at Somerville Place for the last of my series here at the dog farm. The whole backstory is in episode 1 of this series, but in short, there are swamp people here that train vicious dogs, and some of them live in tree houses because of their experiences in the swamp. So let's go take a look at these tree houses. These are out of a mod called Vanilla Extensions by a mod author called Ethrion, and oops, of course there's no railings at any rate, by a mod author named Ethrion, and he makes really good stuff. His updates do sometimes move things in unexpected ways, but that is the risk that you take if you're going to download free content from mod authors. I like this one just because it's got a little view to the south. There's not a ton of decorations in here. In fact, these tree houses are not really well decorated because I was starting to get frame rate drops about the time I started building them, which meant that it was time to wrap up here at Somerville Place. This one is out of the Cabin in the Woods mod, and I liked it, but I also struggled with what to do with such a very small space. So what I have done is I just threw some pallets and a sleeping bag down here and said that this is where the second slave sleeps. And in my mind, in my little headcanon, I say they told this slave that when he asked for a roof over his head, they said that he could sleep underneath this tree stump, and he basically said screw you and hollowed out that tree stump and turned it into a livable space. This giant tree house spawns as a single very large platform that you can then clip things to, but I did not care for the way that the stairs were. I thought that they looked unsupported. So I put this shack underneath to try and make it look like the stairs are supported. The shack itself is not all that exciting, but it is the home of another swamp person who has some very odd taste in art. Let's go upstairs and look at the patio area up here. I thought it would be nice to get just a little bit of elevation and maybe some breeze for when you're going to try and hang out and maybe have a beer or have dinner, whatever. And this is the actual tree house up here. And you can snap things to the edges. I can't recall if you could snap things to internal edges or if I used Place Anywhere for those walls. I can't actually recall. This is the bedroom of the man who runs the settlement as a whole and his woman. And it turns out that he is a former operator. He saw the writing on the wall when the sole survivor came to nuke the world, and so he bailed and ended up running a gang of swamp people. He's smarter than all of them and is almost as ruthless. His woman thinks that she has a bit of a green thumb. As it turns out, she does not. They have a conversation nook over here. I've mentioned in previous videos in this series that there are no electric lights at this settlement. Everything is done with lamps and candles and such, and I did that because I have done a couple of very advanced electrical settlements. The last couple have been, and I wanted to do something with no electricity at all for a change. This toilet here, in my head, it's not a flushing toilet, it's just a hole in the floor, and crap falls out the hole, and a slave has to go clean it up later. They have a nice kitchen over here, and can cook and prepare food. They've got some potted plants running around, and The exhaust for the stove is where it belongs, on the outside of the wall. If you were to look at this from the outside, you'd see smoke coming from the various chimneys on this place. I added smoke using the Settlement Objects Expansion Pack mod. This last bedroom is very sparsely decorated because, well, I was starting to get frame rate drops and I had my first crash about the time I got here, and so that meant that it was time to wrap up and stop building at this settlement. And coincidentally, it's time to wrap up the series here at Somerville Place. I hope you liked it. I tried to do some very much shorter videos this time around, just showing one or two things at a time. Interested in whether or not people like that. If you did like, please hit the like button down below. And if you want to see more, be sure and subscribe. If you didn't like, please tell me why so I can try and do better. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.